All right, welcome in. It's Friday. It's time for Total Bases. We've got a full slate of games. I'll start with the good. We hit the parlay yesterday. A little bit of a reduced payout. The Tigers did push after the first five, but my over got there easily. Diamondbacks Cardinals, million runs in that game. And Tokyo Brandon got there with a nice plus money call on that Blue Jays team total under. We're still chasing a couple units on the parlay, but we hope to get them back today. Tokyo Brandon, how was your Thursday night?
Last night was good. MLB, I went 2-0 again, another sweep. Unfortunately, my 5% KBO play lost just a couple hours ago. So, yeah, bittersweet, I guess. MLB is going well, and I had been having winning days in the KBO for, I think, 5 days in a row, and today I had a losing day. So, overall, a winning day, though, so I'm all right.
Yeah, listen, win or loss, we got to come on here, recap, talk about it. For me, not a great week for me coming out of the All-Star break. It's one of those things where Brian, I don't know if I had it coming. You never want to look at it like that, but I was so hot June into July and into the All-Star break that I feel like some teams where I was like, no, I don't want the break right now. I don't need a 4-day break right now. It's going to cool me off. And it feels like that's happened to me now. My glass half full, my optimistic view of it is the losses for me have come in AAA and KBO, where I built up a considerable plus so far this year. Major League Baseball for the last week or so has been flat. So again, I'll always say this, that all the units are the same. They all count the same. Doesn't make me any less annoyed that I'm having a losing week because I'm losing in AAA and KBO. But I guess if I could pick somewhere to give back, I'd rather give back some of the huge AAA season I've had so far than like lose in MLB. Again, glass half full spin on another 1-2 night for me, but we're going to try to get it back today.
Yeah, as I mentioned on the show yesterday, I did not like the card. I guess I was pretty lucky to pass in that game because the inning after the sixth, he gave up 2 runs. Detroit ended up winning. So, yeah, I hated that card yesterday. I saw no place for myself and my clients. I did want to point out that anytime any of us gets a card that we just don't like anything at all, your extended service is extended an additional day. So if you bought anything from me yesterday, it includes an extra day at the end of what you paid for, because they don't want us to have to be forced to play anything. I know, football season's coming up, and everybody wants Sunday night, Monday night NFL football. If your guy's giving you Sunday and Monday NFL football every single week, he's not looking out for you. He's just trying to get information out there and hoping he gets lucky. There's a lot of guys that we love Dave Koken on this show, and Dave Koken would end the season on a Monday Night Football and have 3 plays all season long. That's the kind of guy Dave was. That's the kind of guy we should all try to be. And that's what I do. I pass once in a while. And yes, as hot as we've been, I hated that. I just hated that card yesterday.
Dave Koken, through his lifetime, probably cost himself hundreds of thousands of dollars on not putting 5% plays out because he just didn't want his clients to go nuts on a 5% play. Guy would put out 1 a year and it would always win by like 6 goals, or it would be an over in football that would win easily. Yeah, Dave was the best. We miss him. So just to honor Dave, because he loved doing the baseball show on a daily basis. Let's find some winners today. And we got a series. We're going to kick this off. Tokyo Brandon, I saw Yankees Phillies as the feature, as the game that we're going to start with today. Apple TV tonight. If you're looking for that game, that is the only place you'll be able to find that game. I guess we call it national streaming TV here in the States. Can't turn your TV on and find it, but you can get it on the Apple TV app. And Yankees Phillies always reminds me of 2009. Of course, that was the year the Yankees won the World Series. The last time they've won the World Series. That's kind of crazy. Their last World Series win. You have to go all the way back to 2009, the year the new Yankee Stadium opened. I remember it like it was yesterday because I graduated college in 2008. All of my buddies were from down in the NY metro area. They all moved to the city. We went to so many Yankee games that year. I was like big bandwagon Yankee fan. I always joke I don't really have a team. Well, that year I had a team. That was awesome. That was Jeter was still there. I think you had A-Rod. We met Nick Swisher at a bar in New York City that year. He couldn't have been nicer. One of the just a nice guy. So yeah, I have fond memories of Yankees Phillies back in 2009. The Yankees, man, hey, maybe this is the year. We thought last year could be the year for them. They certainly look like the best team in the American League. And I'm pulling up the odds this morning. Kind of surprised to see them as an underdog here. So, TB, I got to let you kick this off because this is your guy, Cam Schlittler, on the mound. Do you like the Yankees tonight?
So I actually liked the MLB card yesterday. I went 2-0 and I kind of liked it, but today I like it a little bit less. And Mom always said, don't bet against Jesus. And that's who we've got today. So before I get to that, though, you can get a double play, 2 of us 3. And look, Brian's one of the best cappers the last 30 days. And Adam and I are vying for number 2 overall on the year. So you can't go wrong with any 2 of us that you pick. So grab 2 of us on a double play and let's ride. I'm going to do an Asian baseball show tonight on my channel on YouTube. So catch that as well. Let's get on to the Phillies and Yankees. I'm not surprised the Yankees haven't won a World Series for a while. I mean, if you cover the logo, they're just another team out there. They do have good pitching. The bullpen has bitten them quite a bit these last couple of years, like with Devin Williams, and this year not much better. But ranking wise, I've got the Yankees bullpen ranked 12, so not too bad. I got the Phillies ranked 16 in current form. Neither team's hitting really great right now. Phillies ranked 15. Phillies are kind of average bullpen, average batting. The Yankees bats are a little bit cold right now. So yeah, I would favor the Phillies a little bit here. Not too much though, because both pitchers are excellent. I would look for somehow to play an under in this one because we have 2 excellent starting pitchers and 2 lineups with big names, but they're not really.
TB, I got to jump in real quick. The Yankees have shuffled their pitching a little bit. I think it's going to be Will Warren and not Schlittler. I'm seeing this start to. I think they started to talk about this last night, but I see that changed. So I thought it was Schlittler here up until a few minutes ago. It looks like it's going to be Will Warren. Sorry about that.
I thought it was Schlittler too. Why would they do that? Why would they make that change?
He might need some extra rest, but it looks like they pushed him off to Sunday. That is notable. We'll probably talk about that more tomorrow, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be Will Warren tonight. Sure.
Then I like the Phillies even more in that case because I think Luzardo is a much better pitcher than Will Warren. As a matter of fact, if you look at Luzardo's expected numbers, got him ranked 4 out of 30 on a curve of 30. His expected numbers are actually even better than his actual numbers. So I think it would be Phillies or nothing here. Haven't done it yet. Let's see. Phillies at home, not a great record. Yankees are really good on the road. So a couple things kind of cancel each other out. So not a big confidence here, but yeah, I think I like the Phillies.
Yeah, this is I'm kind of getting this info in real time here, but that's it just looks like I don't even know if it's determined. For whatever reason, Brian, they want to push Schlittler back a day. I think Warren was originally not supposed to pitch till Sunday, but I could be wrong about that. At any rate, he's pitching tonight. How does that change your handicap for this game?
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing all along because on our website or on our line service, Logic, great line service, by the way, they had Warren going. And I was looking, and Warren was supposed to go Sunday, and Weathers was supposed to go Saturday. So you'd think they move up Weathers. So I'm not even going to waste time on talking about this game because I don't know who's going to pitch at this point. We're at 6:00 in the morning Pacific. We got a full slate of games. We'll worry about it. I said before I'm from Cleveland. I've always been a Yankee hater. We were talking about rooting for teams. When obviously 9/11, I was a huge Yankees fan, even though I've never been. I think the whole country was. And it's without knowing who's going to start for sure. I'm not even going to bother to talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's Warren. I mean, everything I'm reading right now, it looks like he's going to be. he's going to be the guy. I think that it's probably why the Yankees are priced where they are right now. Like the Phillies. So this morning I did, as I was getting prepared for the show, I was watching the screen. It looked like the Phillies took some money. I thought that was a little bit surprising, but now it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, if you could have locked in a better price with Luzardo, that's a pretty big difference. Warren's a pretty big downgrade in caliber of starting pitcher from Schlittler. That being said, if this steams too far in the other direction, and now you get into that territory where, well, how often do you get the Yankees at a nice plus price, right? You almost might be willing to take a flyer with Warren. Maybe he throws it well, and you've got the bullpen rested. I would think that most would say the Yankees. I think the Yankees probably have a little bit of a bullpen edge over the Phillies. Maybe, I don't know. Obviously, Duran can lock down games at the end, but collectively, this bullpen's better. Listen, you don't see Yankees plus 120 when they're playing as good as they have right now, when they're literally the number one power rated team, I think, for everyone in the American League. I don't think anyone's going to argue with, like, the Yankees are the clear number one team in the American League. I think they're starting to put themselves, they're putting teams in the rear view in that regard. So you get Yankees plus 120. Yeah, this is the pitching change has really made this a very tricky handicap.
Yeah.
So we'll find something else to handicap. We're going to do a bunch of them on this show. Let's get Grant's dad in here. Love that name. Love that handle. Love them. I always say this every time he pops up on the screen. The old school Florida Marlins logo. One of the saddest days was when they moved to the new sort of Miami Marlins template, because those Florida Marlins, those cutoff jerseys. That teal was as good as it gets. Grant's dad said, rolled yesterday with TB's free Jerry Gold play. Jay's team total under 4.5. And it got there. It was a win at 3.5 at plus money.
Yep.
So let's go to that game. I believe this is the other Apple TV game. So a nice segue here. The Blue Jays finally get a win. They sort of did it in the fashion that we thought they would do it in, where they didn't really break out offensively, but they got enough pitching to squeak out a 3-1 win. So Tokyo, Brandon, you nailed this game yesterday. The question to you is this what gets the Blue Jays going? They clearly have a pitching edge here, in my opinion, but the Red Sox have also won something crazy like 15 of their last 16. I think it's something crazy like 20 of their last 23. So do you want the Blue Jays as a dog tonight at Fenway Park is the question.
Absolutely not. It would be hard to back this Blue Jays team right now. I mean, they are just in a quagmire, and it's kind of like when you get in quicksand, you don't know how to get out. They're hitting 29th out of 30 teams, while Boston's hitting 8, according to my numbers. Bullpen also, the Blue Jays bullpen's doing okay, serviceable job, but Boston's bullpen's on fire. And yeah, you're right. They do have a pitching advantage, but I only have them like about 3 notches higher than Boston out of 30 in the pitching matchup. Patrick Sandoval, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he's pitching like someone who's good, and I never thought he was good. So he's mimicking a good pitcher this season. And he's doing a pretty good job mimicking a good pitcher. So we'll see how long that lasts. I think it's pretty fugazi. I think he's using smoke and mirrors, because I have him ranked very, very mediocre in expected numbers. But I don't have Savage ranked that high. Got him ranked right around 12 out of 30. So, yeah, I still say advantage Boston. A slight pitching advantage, but I think the batting and bullpen discrepancies make up for that slight pitching advantage. So it would be Boston or nothing for me, although I have not played it and I probably won't.
I think there's a massive pitching advantage for the Blue Jays. Patrick Sandoval's only thrown 9 innings at the big league level this year. He's a 1.7 whip. And he's been down in Worcester. Shout out to my hat, my Worcester Woo Sox hat. He's been at Worcester for a lot of the year. He's kind of a, I'm with you, TB. I don't think he's very good. He's a veteran guy. He's one of those guys that, how you talk about guys that you think are older than they are. Like for some reason, for me, Patrick Sandoval's in his like mid 30s, but he's not. He's only 29 years old. I just feel like he's been around for a really long time. I'm not going to throw too much shade at him. He had a good years with the Angels at one point in time. But today, do I think Patrick Sandoval is a great option today? I have to go back and look. I thought he was throwing a little bit of out of the bullpen at Worcester. I know he started games. I have to see how long he's going to go here. But even if he were to go 6 innings, I mean, Savage is still that is a huge edge from a pitching standpoint. And then I've got some chat folks here. Reynolds, his numbers against Boston are crazy good. Yeah, they very much are. He's got really good numbers against the Red Sox. He's still like a premier starting pitcher in my opinion. Bryan Leonard, can you trust the Jays to do any damage offensively, even against Sandoval?
Yeah, even in a win, they score 3 runs. This offense, I don't want any part of them. They've got an 81 WRC plus on the season versus lefties, which is tied with the Colorado Rockies for the worst in Major League Baseball. And anytime you're tied with the Colorado Rockies for anything, that's not a goal that you want to have. Yes, Savage on the mound against Sandoval. I believe Savage is better. No doubt about it, but I believe the Boston bats are better. After I've got this dead even with the starters in the game. So let's say 5 innings. They go 5 innings. You're 110 each way or whatever. But then after that, is Boston's bullpen any better than Toronto's is? And I think in this case it is. Boston's bullpen, they had yesterday off, didn't have to use anybody. Guerrero hasn't pitched in 3 days. Weissert hasn't pitched in 4 days. They're in a really good position from a bullpen standpoint. But Toronto had to use Louis Varland and Tyler Rogers each of the last 2 days. They've been very careful with Louis Varland, who has turned himself into one of the best closers in Major League Baseball. I don't think they use him at all today. And Tyler Rogers only threw 27 pitches, but he did pitch the last 2 days. So he's probably available. But Varland is so good for them. Hoffman has been very good on this season as well. He pitched 28 pitches 2 days ago. So I don't want Toronto in a win situation where they can't use their closer. I don't know if I trust the other guys in this bullpen that way. So when it all boils out, I think the line is correct here. We're looking at Boston about a 125 favorite, total 8.5, slightly to the over. Keep in mind, something that I've used for years, and it has worked for years, is teams on a long winning streak, once they lose the game, they tend to have a little bit of a letdown, and sometimes you get 2 or 3 days in which they lose again. So I don't want to play Boston, but I don't want to have to work and try to get Toronto to maybe 4 runs in here to get a win. So it would probably be an under or a pass for me.
They could use Little, and he could give up 6 runs again.
Yeah, well, TB, that's kind of how the way I think I would approach this. I would almost if you like the Blue Jays, I think you want to take the end, the latter part of the game out of this. I think you want to go Blue Jays first 5 if you like the Jays. Bet on your Savage against Sandoval. So I had to refresh my memory. So Sandoval got hurt. He missed some time. He pitched in April. He's been hurt. He was hurt on April 14th. So his time down at AAA has really been an extended rehab. Started in early June, and they kind of had him going the full sort of it was an extended rehab all through the month of June. They may have even not had a spot for him on the roster. They may have put him on the Worcester roster for a minute. Numbers were very, very good in the minors, though. The month of June, he had a 188 batting average against a 1.05 whip. Now, in two appearances since coming back, not as good. The Rays got to him a little bit, 9 hits over 5 innings. But he wasn't really, he was just building up at AAA and at AA. So a couple, 8 total appearances in the minors. And it was really 1 innings and 2 innings and 3 innings. So they were just trying to stretch him back out. So I do expect him to be the starter here. I do expect the Red Sox to try to get 5 innings out of him. And if you're going to give me a Savage against Sandoval for 5 innings, I'm going to take you Savage just based on the fact that I think he is so 2 things. 1, I think he's a far superior pitcher. 2, what Brian said. might be in for a little bit of a letdown from the Red Sox. They just had this insane winning streak. They finally lose it on the nightcap of a doubleheader. It feels like maybe they don't play their best ball this weekend, but they might not need to play their best ball to beat the Blue Jays. It's another challenging game right here. Brian's kind of been on with what do you think about a no run in the first inning? I don't know. Any thoughts for Tessie on a nerfy?
Yeah, let me look at Toronto's hitting. Only guy in the top 4, Springer, is hitting decent. The problem is Boston's been hitting very well from the top of the lineup. Let me look. Other than Siegler, who I think is on his way back down to the minors, the next 5 guys who are all in the top 100 right now. So, I don't know if it'll make it. I thought about one the other day that we had on the show, and then all of a sudden they changed the pitcher, and that canceled, and they zeroed the first. And then, of course, they brought in, I think it was yesterday or the day before, they brought in the guy that we thought was going to start. And, yes, there was 2 runs scored in that inning. So, but nothing on that one. I don't know if I can get to it on that.
1,000 Swords. I'll answer this very quickly. He says, why is betting on AAA East and West such a scam? 8th and 9th innings go crazier than MLB Pro teams, most rigged. No, it's not rigged at all. It's just none of these teams have any.
Why would they rig any minor league game? That statement is bad. Sorry.
Yeah, but to answer your question, the reason the 8th and 9th innings go crazy in AAA, no one has any relievers. No one has any bullpen guys. If you are a respectable bullpen guy in 2026, you are in Major League Baseball. Very few teams have really good relievers, and I track that. So if you bet my AAA, you'll know that one of the things that I do that I don't think anyone else is really doing, I track AAA bullpen usage very, very explicitly because I want to find the team that might have a high leverage reliever or two at the end of a game because they're few and far between. A lot of these teams, you might have a good starter, but you get to the bullpen and it's a real adventure a lot of times because look at the major league bullpens. You think Rochester, the Red Wings, the Nats AAA affiliate is just chilling with a bunch of good bullpen arms? No, if they had good bullpen arms, they'd be in the big league bullpen, which is struggling massively. So that is like a way I approach AAA, and it makes it very profitable. If you know that this team might use a reliever on this day, and they're like one of like the stud guys, that's a team that you might want to target because they're just isn't that many. And yeah, those last couple innings go off the rails. Tokyo Brandon will tell you it's similar sometimes in KBO. A couple good relievers on each team in KBO. Once you get past the closer or maybe the next guy, it is an adventure in the late innings of games. So yeah, just to answer your question there.
And if it's rigged in your favor, you get an easy win on your bet. So
everyone knows you still got a 50-50 chance of winning.
Everyone thinks if something's rigged, if something's rigged, you automatically lose. But if you know which way it's rigged,
you know which way. Yeah, exactly, for sure.
People get on my case for Chinese basketball. They say it's rigged. I'm like, if I know which way it's rigged, I'm going to win all day long.
That's we're just trying to find edges, right?
Exactly.
Wherever you can find them. Alex Rand, let's go to this game. He says the best baseball show on YouTube. We very much appreciate that. We appreciate the donations to the show. As always, they will get donated to a charity of the home office's choosing. We just had a nice donation the other day to the Fisher House, I believe it was. Army veterans, they're always working with someone. They try to rotate it so, a couple different causes get hit. So that's awesome that they're able to do that. And we love that we can contribute. So if you do donate into the show, it goes to a good cause. And we end up talking about your game. So Alex, Braves Orioles. I have an opinion here, but I'm going to let Brian go first. Braves Orioles. The Braves squeak one out yesterday against the Padres. And really, that's been the story for the Braves this past week. A lot of close games. They keep finding ways to win. The question is, do they find a way at Camden Yards tonight?
Yeah, Grant Holmes on the mound for the Braves, and Rogers on the mound for Baltimore, a guy that has turned it back around. I mean, say what you will about times when he's not pitched well and something's wrong. He's a guy willing to look for corrections, and it seems to be working out again. He's somebody you want to back right now. We're looking at Baltimore at about a 115 favorite with a total of 9. Let's look at how Atlanta's done against lefties so far this year. They've got a 93 WRC plus versus lefties as opposed to 105 against righties. And over the last month or so, they're 101 overall. So Atlanta doesn't hit lefties as well. But I will say their best, well, supposedly best hitter is going to be back in the field today. Is they're bringing their outfielder back, and he's going to be in the lineup. That gives them a little bit of a boost here. Holmes is a guy who has gotten the best of his ability, I think. I've never thought of him as being that great of a pitcher, but he has done very well. If you take a look at the rankings, he's 102nd overall over at Fangraphs, which puts him squarely in the middle of this starting lineup. Obviously, Sale is elite. Sale's a guy that could be sneaking up on winning the Cy Young in the National League. So he's the same as he's been. 11 strikeouts, no walks. Very similar to Williams yesterday for Cleveland. Just think about, we talked about Williams the last few years. So, and then they've got Elder's been very good. So, yeah, Holmes is a very good pitcher here. The bullpen situation is a little bit of a concern for Atlanta. Iglesias has pitched each of the last 2 days and 4 of the last 6. That's a concern. I think Lee will be available. Lee's been great. Fuentes has been great, but he did throw 37 pitches on Wednesday, so he might not be at 100% coming into this one. But this is why I talk about the bullpens in these games. Who is available, who is not. That's the one thing that changes each and every day. We know who the starter is. We have a really good idea who the batters are, but we need to look at the bullpens each and every day. And, you know, they used some of their lesser bullpen guys yesterday. From the Baltimore standpoint, and we'll take a look quickly at Baltimore here. I talked about Rogers. Rogers has been terrific all season long. He's rated as 79th overall because he did have those struggles earlier, but he's 37th the last 2 weeks. And in fact, the Baltimore starting pitching has been very good as of late, which means that the bullpen situation is usually in really good shape, and they didn't play yesterday. And nobody's pitched more than 11 pitches the last 3 days overall, other than Anthony Munoz, who's pitched once all week. So I like the bullpen situation a little bit better here for Baltimore, and I like the starting pitcher situation slightly better here for Baltimore. So if I'm playing, like I said, we're in about the 117 range. If I can get this down to 110, I'll be on Baltimore. And there's a couple places out there that are at 13, 14 right now. So as the day goes on, and it's a nighttime game, if I see a 110 on Baltimore, I may come back and hit them.
TB to you, Orioles, Braves. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I love the comments. The Yakuza are rigging the KBO. Yakuza are Japanese, not Korean. So I don't think they're going to Korea and rigging Korean baseball. But anyways, I'll just flat out say I think Trevor Rogers is overrated, and I think Grant Holmes is a little bit erratic for my taste. So I'm going to look for an over in this one because I think Atlanta's swinging pretty well right now. I don't really like either starter. And Grant Holmes, actually, if you look at the matchup, head-to-head matchups, he ranks dead last on my starting pitcher rankings. He's got a 1273 OPS and 22 at-bats against these Oriole bats. Definitely think the Orioles can put runs up today. And I'm just not in love with Trevor Rogers like everyone else is. I think Atlanta's going to score on him as well. So, yeah, I think that over would be make some sense here. I haven't bet it myself, but I'm thinking about it. In some way, I'll like to take an over, whether it be a team total or first five or whatever.
All right, I am going to. All right, so I have a play up for sale right now. It is. I am 95% sure. This is a day you were talking about, like Brian. You didn't like the card yesterday. I didn't either. I didn't have one today. I have like 7 plays that are seven opinions that could become plays. I am almost like certain that I'm going to have more than one MLB play. So I'm not holding out on you guys. Listen, if you bought my play already, just chill. There will likely be another one attached to it. I'm going to give the one out that I've already put out because it's the Orioles. And I would feel bad if I already had it locked in and didn't share it with you guys here. So Orioles minus 116 is a 4% play for me. Haven't given one out for free on the show in a minute. So I'm going to take care of you guys here. I I'm a little bit different on Rodgers. Now TB, I do think he's a little bit of an enigma. Like, he was so bad 2 years ago. Last year he came out and he was like, he had a sub-1 whip, and it's like you look at the last 2 years and you're like, who is this guy, right? Is he the guy that got traded here in 2024 and looked like he should be out of the game? Or is he the guy that like came, because remember, he got called up for the minors last year. He started last year in the minors at Norfolk and then had the season that he had. And then you look at him this year and you're like, all right, it's kind of in between, right? The numbers are average. But I think this guy's starting to turn a corner. He pitched against Houston last time out, 6 1/3, 8 strikeouts, was really good. If you start to look through his recent starts, the Cubs start, 1 run over 6 innings, I thought he was solid. The Nats start, 1 run over 6 1/3. Again, he's not striking 9-10 guys out a game, but he's solid. The Dodgers game, 7 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts. Like, they interviewed him on Masson in the dugout the other day. I felt like I liked what he had to say. I feel like he just felt like he's starting to get comfortable. Maybe he wasn't comfortable April and May. Holmes is fine, but you know what? Grant Holmes is probably out of this game after the 5th inning. Find me the last time that dude went more than 5 innings in a start. And then you will have that tired Braves bullpen in this game on the road. The Orioles have a good record at home. Their record is much better at Camden Yards. And this is a big game for the Orioles. They're 3 games out of a wild card spot. They need to have a good series this weekend, in my opinion. I think they set the tone with a win tonight. So this will be my parlay leg. 4% play for my clients. Now it's a 4% play for you guys here in the chat. Orioles. Brian, I was thinking the same thing as you. I'd love a -110, but I took a -116. I didn't want it to get any worse.
Cubs, Nationals, and Dodgers. Those are pretty good lineups too. That shut down. Yeah.
Astros. How about the Astros? Yeah. Jordan Alvarez, video game numbers. Like, they've hit the ball too lately.
Yeah. You're looking at points. Similar 116.
Yeah, so I locked this in right before the show. I got -116. I was just worried. I didn't want it to go the other direction. But yeah, I mean, it could. Listen, the Braves are another team. The Sharps, if you will, do not like letting them sit out there as a dog very often. That's a team that typically, if you can get plus money with the Braves this year, they've gotten hit at some point. So you might see your put -110 here at some point in time. Wouldn't be that surprised. I like it either way. 116, even let's call it 120 or better. I think that's a really good bet. I like the O's at home tonight, and we'll call it -116 for the parlay. So we've locked in the first leg. We're off to a flying start here on Friday. I got to get Freebird in here. So Freebird, appreciate the donation as always. World traveler at one point in time was just going all over Europe. Hopefully you're enjoying your. Yeah, probably right. Like, hopefully he's enjoying his Friday somewhere nice. He says Giants and Rays today. Those are 2 different games. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to pick the Giants. Let's get a little West Coast ball. This is a late game. And Brian, I'll let you start this one off. I'll tell you something I was wrong about. I bet the Angels +1.5 over the weekend. Now I hit with them on Sunday, but I lost with them. I believe it was the night before. Grayson Rodriguez, man, like, you want to talk about an Orioles segue here. I thought this guy was going to be like a Cy Young guy at one point. And he got injured, missed a season. I don't know how you could put a dime on him right now. I tried it last week. I thought he could hang around it with the Tigers. He got crushed, never competitive. Aside from a good outing or two at AAA, like, most of his time on the mound has not looked competitive this year. Giants are probably bigger favorite than I think you'd expect them to be, but is it justified in your opinion?
Yeah, a couple of righties, Rodriguez and Webb. Webb's about a 165 favorite right now with a total of 8.5, slightly to the under. Yeah, I'm with you on Los Angeles. Nobody on the team is hitting right now. They're talking about trading Zach Neto. I've heard rumors that Cleveland is trying to get Mike Trout. We mentioned this earlier in the season. Once the trade deadline comes around, half of this team will not be here. They're still here now, but you're a major league player. Obviously you're playing in a great state and a great part of the country for weather. Your team's not good. You don't know where you're going to play next week. It's a tough time to back on those kind of teams in this situation. Grayson Rodriguez, as you mentioned, he's rated the 278th best starting pitcher in baseball. To keep that in mind, another Angel, Ryan Johnson, is rated 208, and he hasn't been very good. With a lot of talent, but he hasn't been very good. So I want no part of the Angels in this one, although I will say, if you take a look at that bullpen, the last 4 or 5 guys in the back of that bullpen, that's the strength of the team. Who would have thought that the Angels' strength of the team will be their bullpen? Not something we expected coming into this season. Webb's been Webb. He's a very good pitcher, but he's been a little inconsistent this year. Getting him at home is a good situation normally, but do you really want to lay that kind of number with Webb here? The Angels have the ability to play well in this game. It's not like it's a far away opponent they're going to the East Coast or anything. So it would not surprise me if if we get 5 innings out of Rodriguez. This is a dangerous situation. If he can hold San Francisco to 3 runs through 5 innings, which isn't a whole lot to ask, I think the Angels are a live dog in this situation, because Webb will be in there. Webb's very good, but I don't know if I trust the Giants' bats to lay this kind of number.
Yeah, I think that's well said, Brian, because that's the conundrum here, right? That's the conundrum. You've got, on one hand, I see no problem going against Grayson Rodriguez in theory, but to do it at this price with a team, Tokyo Brandon, that has played as poorly as the Giants have for a lot of this year is tough. I think that's what makes this an interesting handicap. Giants, Angels to you, how are you seeing it, TB?
Yeah, get a double play, guys. 2 of us, 3 days, all access, including 5% plays. I have a play out in MLB today, and I will be doing an Asian baseball show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel. Those are my promos for today, so let's get to this game. I think Webb used to be good. I don't think he's good anymore. I think he's very overrated right now. I've got him ranked 16 out of 30 on a curve of 30. And he's given up 15 earned in his last 3 starts. So that's not the sign of a guy who is good, in my opinion. Sometimes you got to cover the name because he's been an absolute stud in the running for Cy Youngs, that kind of thing. But he's just not that guy right now. I don't know if he will return to being that guy. I don't know how old he is, but he's another one of those guys you think he's like 38 or something. What is he, 29? So that's crazy. Seems like he's been in the league for a long time. But yeah, he'll probably bounce back eventually, but I don't know if it'll be today. Unfortunately, neither one of these lineups is hitting well at all. I've got the Angels ranked 25 and the Giants ranked 26, and this is a pitcher park. Like, I kind of agree with Brian what he said. If Rodriguez can hold the Giants to like 3 runs in 5 innings, which shouldn't be too much of an ask. I think the under is in play here. Despite Webb's struggles, I think this is the kind of lineup you want to face when you're struggling. And if he can hold the Angels to, I don't know, 2 in 6 innings, perhaps, I think at under 8.5, and this would probably be a decent play, especially given the fact that, like Brian said, the Angels bullpen, whoever thought the Angels bullpen would be their strength, but it is. And the Giants bullpen, not too shabby, just slightly above mediocre. So it would be under for me if I were to play this game.
I think Logan Webb's still an ace. I just think you gotta don't let him near Coors Field, Brian. Don't let that guy near Coors Field. That's where all his bad stuff. He's actually having a tremendous season. He just got blown up at Coors, and then the following game, he had a really tough luck first inning where like the Blue Jays got a couple of guys on base and then hit a grand slam on a ball that like barely cleared the fence. And it was like a 5-run first inning. And then he proceeded to go out and throw like 7 shutout innings after that. And has been great since. So I have no problem with Webb. I think he's still in his prime. Like, I think he's still really, really good. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. If coming into the season, I would have had to say Logan Webb's top 25 pitcher. Right now he's ranked 45. So yes, he hasn't been as good as he has been in the past, but he's still a very good pitcher. But if you look at the rankings, Landon Roop is 31 on the season. Roop has turned into a very consistent, a very good pitcher for them. So he might not even be the ace on this team now. But yeah, I think despite being 30 in a couple of months, he's still a decent pitcher to play on. I want to get to my. We're getting later in the show, so I want to get to
Go ahead.
my part of the parlay here. I've talked in the past about having a day off means so much to the batters, and obviously it means a lot to the bullpens. We're getting Houston and Chicago White Sox today, Arrighetti and Martin starting. We're looking at the White Sox about a 132 favorite against Arrighetti, total 8.5, or somewhat to the over, 9 somewhat to the under. If you can get an 8.5 here, I'm willing to fade these two pitchers. The reason being, Arrighetti, he's pitched a little bit better lately than he had when we were making a lot of money going against him. But Martin's had a little bit of negative regression. He still had great numbers on the season, but they're starting to figure him out a little bit. And with these two offenses, with the day off, the White Sox, if you follow the White Sox so far this year, they've won 13 straight games, have gone over when they have a day off. And you need to pay attention to that. Now, they're not hitting very well right now, no doubt about it. They've cooled off a little bit offensively, but they are getting to face a guy who does walk some batters in Arrighetti and can be hit. And that extra day off does make a difference. It refreshes the bats. I think it's going to be a big differential. And like I said, Martin is starting to have some negative regression. And I always look at the bullpens, after a day off, it really helps. But if I look at these two bullpens, other than the closers, is there really anybody that they trust? Chances are there may even be a game where neither closer gets used. And if they do get used, they'll be used for one inning. So even in, let's say you play 8 innings in this game against these two starters and the other bullpen guys, I think there'll be some runs scored. So I like this game to go over the 8.5. Let's lay the 120 out there. I see a 110, but let's lay the 120 on that because that puts us on the odd number, which is the number 9. And one of these teams wins 5-4. We've got ourselves a winner. And I don't use a ton of overs. In fact, lately I haven't done many at all. But this is one game that I had circled with the White Sox having that extra day off. I like the over here, over 8.5 minus 120.
Yeah, TB, you kind of mentioned, Davis Martin was a guy that got hot for a couple months. And I think you even maybe noted at one point, well, maybe how long is that going to last, right? And he's sort of come back to earth a little bit. Spencer Arrighetti was a guy that got off to a very hot start and had all the underlying metrics said he was going to get bombed at some point, and then he did. I could see it. I'm going to look at my projections real quick. I'm north of 9 here. I'm 9 point, quick math in my head, 1.7 is what my score projection comes out here for this one. So I could see where Brian's coming from here. Astros, White Sox to you.
Yeah, I fully agree, so I don't have a lot to add. And on top of that, my parlay leg is going to be a game we already covered, so you can do a different game after this. So I got the White Sox ranked a little bit higher than the Astros at pretty much everything, but not a lot higher. Davis Martin has slid down and come back to earth quite a bit, but I have Arrighetti ranked almost like really, really low. Out of 250 starting pitchers, he's ranked around 215. So yeah, like Brian said, he has walk issues. He's just not a good pitcher in my opinion. White Sox, actually both these teams hitting kind of well right now. I mean, especially the White Sox, got them in the top 10, where I got the Astros around 14. So I would agree with an over here. On top of that, Davis Martin is talented, but head to head, he's got an 877 OPS against these batters. So yeah, I would definitely not argue with an over in this one.
Yeah, I actually did miscalculate. 9.07 is what I have projected, but it's still north of 8.5. It still definitely leans toward the over. And these are two, I talked about the Astros very briefly earlier. Jordan, the numbers the season he's having, probably not getting enough credit, probably not getting enough attention. The Astros have really started to come around. The White Sox, I mean, I think, yeah, they cooled off a tiny bit, but they're still having a far better season than anyone could have imagined that they would have. And, these are two pitchers that I'm not like dying to back. This was a pretty quick throw out for me. I felt like this game was a toss up. So yeah, if I had to play it, I think I'd go with Bryan and take the over as well. And that's what we're going to do for the parlay. Looks like the Yankees are back to Cam Schlittler. I don't know what's going on there. Looks like he's back listed. So Tokyo Brandon, we'll make the viewers wait until the end of the show to see your parlay leg. I am going to go to the chat. We got one more game here I want to get in. Quinn says Rangers Mariners. I like Texas plus money at home with Gore. Mariners struggle to hit lefties. Well, I'll tell you what, if you get the Mackenzie Gore that the Rangers gave away 5 good prospects to get, the one they thought they were going to get, then you're in business. If you get the Mackenzie Gore that shows up the other half of the time, you're in trouble. Brian, that's been the hard thing to figure out with Mackenzie Gore. Dr. Jekyll Hyde guy, right? When he shows up and he is on, he looks like an ace. He's the guy I always thought he would be. And then sometimes he just doesn't have it, and it's hard to figure out which Mackenzie Gore you're going to get.
Yep, I agree. This is these are two guys that have been hard to handicap this year. Gore, you would think coming into this pitcher's ballpark, he'd had a really nice season. We're not seeing it. Bryce Miller had a little bit of a hiccup in the last couple of weeks, but he's been very, very good for them. I do want to point out that in that last game, Chicago's in search for a catcher. Now that Teal is gone, they're on the trade block. So the two guys they have, they don't really feel comfortable with. So they may make a deal and pick up a decent catcher. That would really help them out because that Teal loss, even though he hadn't done anything this year, really hurt them. But, Seattle's the team that I like them when they go on the road. They hit a little bit better. Problem is this road up position is in Texas, which is a good pitching ballpark. We're looking at basically Seattle 115, total of 7.5 here. Texas has got some good news coming back. Their shortstop will be back very soon, and to just get hurt a little later on in the season. Right now for Seattle, J.P. Crawford continues to be out. Julio Rodriguez sat out a couple of days ago. He's been DHing lately, so he's not in the outfield. He's had some problems health-wise. And if you take a look at their lineup, the only guys that have really been hitting lately is Josh Naylor and Cole Young. Cole Young, who I really liked, they put him up higher in the lineup, which really helps. But unfortunately, Colt Emerson has done nothing since they brought him up. But from the bullpen standpoint, they had yesterday off, and they got a pretty good bullpen out there in Seattle. And so we're looking at two teams right now in which the bullpen is in pretty good shape. So I'm looking at this one. I really like the closer for Texas. He's on my numbers. He's like the second best closer in baseball. Lots. He's been very good. So, yeah. I don't know what to do in this game. I'll be passing in this one. It's one of the few that I'm torn too many different ways. So I don't have any conviction.
If I could just convince myself that I want to take the Mariners so badly here. I really like Miller. Mackenzie Gore hasn't been good for like a month now. I mean, he really hasn't thrown the ball well since June. The one start that he kind of was good in, he was out after the 4th inning. Brian, you make a good point. The Rangers don't have the flashiest bullpen. They don't really have these like big 8th, 9th inning, huge name guys, but they have as good of a collection of bullpen arms as you're going to find in Major League Baseball. That is probably the most underrated pen in the entire game. Their collection of relievers is everyone's good. There's really I don't think they have a weak link in the bullpen. They might not have Mason Miller, but they don't have a weak link. For me, Bryce Miller is more appealing right now than Mackenzie Gore. But, man, the Mariners, I've talked about it a little bit, and the same thing in that Red series. The body language is terrible. They can't seem to get a timely hit. It's like they wait around for someone to hit a home run, and then it doesn't come, and they lose 5-3. So, yeah, they're a tough team to get to the window with right now. Me too. I don't know. I'm still going back to the beginning of the year, and I had the Mariners so highly rated that I see them like, oh, you can get a minus 120 here with Bryce Miller, right? Minus 115, minus 120. It's appealing, but maybe the Mariners just aren't it this year. It's possible they're just, that this is just last year was a little bit of an anomaly with this team, and maybe they're just not that team. Very, very tough team for me to get a grasp on. So I may pass on that one as well. I got to go to Prop King quick. He goes, Adam stalking players. Now, real quick, you think that's something that's big on TikTok now, where I post all of my stadium tour videos. Baseball wags, so the wives of baseball players, it's like they all make content. They all do day in the life. They all post stuff. I follow them all. I follow every single one of them. I can't get enough of it. Why? Because it's like a great view into like a baseball player's normal life. But then also sometimes you got some that just say things that they're not supposed to. Like one basically gave away an injury. I won't name names because I don't want to put them on blast. But like one disclosed contract talks that were definitely not public. So yeah, I will. If I find a baseball wife on TikTok, it's an instant follow, and it's just cool to see the daily life of these guys. We watch them 6 months out of the year as competitors. So cool to get a look into the daily life. Yeah. So you think stalking play? Yeah, that's what I do in my spare time. Prop King. Always trying to find an angle for you guys. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. Did you give your opinion on this one yet, TB?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I wanted
sorry
to
about
give
that. Go ahead. Yeah.
your opinion, and then also go into your part of the parlay
Yes.
here.
Sorry.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to make this my parlay leg, and you're probably going to be shocked and chagrined, especially Adam, but I'm going to take the Rangers first 5 in this one, and I'll tell you why. I like Mackenzie Gore at home, and he's got one of the biggest home-away split discrepancies in the league. Not quite the most, but one of the most, and he's got really good numbers against these Seattle batters. I do not like Seattle at all, and Bryce Miller has been absolutely destroyed by these Texas batters. A 1264 OPS against and a 379 batting average against, and that's a sample size. That's a pretty good sample size too. I think Miller's going to get crushed. I think the Rangers are going to win the first 5, and Mackenzie Gore is going to be solid. So I have no faith in Seattle. Bryce Miller's one saving grace though is he's not walking anyone. And he's actually ranked higher than Mackenzie Gore on my numbers, but I think on the road today against these hitters who have throughout his whole career tormented him, I like Mackenzie Gore here. I just don't like the Ranger bullpen. I got them ranked dead last in MLB. So give me the Rangers bats. I got them ranked 9, and I got the Seattle bats ranked 24. So I think they'll put up at least 1 run in the first 5, and I think Gore can hold Seattle to 1 or less as well. So that's how I'm going to go with my leg of the parlay, and I know you guys are both probably going to hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I've always been a Mackenzie Gore guy. Brian, go ahead and give us the price on that as well.
Yeah, when TB says he's got him rated as the lowest, that means recently. That does not mean on the season. On the season, the back end of this bullpen, the last 5 guys or whatever have been great. So keep that in mind that like Junis and Gray have not pitched that great lately. That's what he's talking about before everybody freaks out. Yeah, it's we need to clarify a lot of what we say currently as opposed to the whole season.
Yeah.
What was the price for TV's?
I'm sorry. So we're looking at the first. What? Say it again, TB.
Rangers first 5 money line.
Okay, Rangers first 5 money line.
If they're big dogs, I'll take the half run.
They're about plus 100.
Okay.
You want me to check the half run?
Would you please? Brian,
they're plus a half, minus 148, 145.
We'll do that. We'll take the half run at minus 150. Make it fair. Minus 148.
It's not any 150s out there. Go 145. Most of them are 140.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to look at it in the parlay. And I think you could also say, hey, if you want to bet that straight, if you want to make that a straight bet, just take Rangers first 5 money line and play
plus
it.
100.
Plus 100. Yeah, there's no harm in that, in my opinion. I think, and again, it's one that I probably I'll finish it by saying this. I will probably look for a way in with the Mariners at some point in the series if they give me a reason to. But I've always liked Mackenzie Gore, and I've always thought he was going to be better than he's been to this point.
Yeah.
And I think the Rangers, listen, you don't trade away 5 prospects and Devin Fitzgerald and Abby Ortiz and who, like, unless you think he's going to be a stud. We could have a little bit of a Trevor Rogers situation here. Remember when everyone was like just crucifying the Orioles for trading Stowers and Norby? Yeah. It might just be a little bit. He might come on a little bit late. They have great pitching coaches. Listen, the Rangers do incredible things with pitchers. Their staff has been underrated. So I'm not going to give up on Mackenzie Gore just yet. And TV for you, I hope he gets it done today.
When a guy bounces from team to team, it really raises a red flag for me, though, because the Padres didn't want him. The Nationals didn't want him. So something, he should have succeeded in San Diego. He really should have, because that's a good environment for him. But I don't know. There's something there that I don't know.
Well, the good thing is that there's somebody out there that always wants you. And he's been one of those guys that everybody thinks they can fix him. It's sort of like if you're married, I guess, and if you're getting married a lot of time. But I can fix them. You know how women do.
Everyone gets a shot except Trevor Bauer.
Just don't let the Brewers get their hands on him. He'll be the Cy Young. He ends up in Milwaukee. He's winning a Cy Young. Easy call.
Or Tampa.
Yeah. But so that is the show. Again, I have a play up for sale, but I gave it out on the show. So if you bought it, don't worry. I am like 99% sure I'm attaching another play to that package. So my play is the Orioles minus 116. It is a 4% play for my clients, and it is my leg of the parlay. Tokyo Brandon is going Rangers first 5 plus a half minus 145. And Brian's going to go Astros White Sox over 8.5 for the full game. So that's Orioles minus 116 full game. Astros White Sox over 8.5 minus 120 full game. Rangers first 5 plus a half minus 145. Check out our respective pages. We all have stuff up for sale. The double play is a great way to get 2 of the guys on the screen at a discounted rate. And then WagerTalk has July specific specials that are up for another week. So take advantage of those. Always want to get a discount if you can. And the 3 of us will be back, remember, an hour later to go ahead of last call, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.